Chapter 31. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It is obviously a humanoid beast that is countless times more ferocious than the space monsters. Ace was even more stunned. The situation in this scene was in stark contrast to his battle with King Grant. The battle at that time took place on the planet Burly. All the special attacks of the 6 Ultra Brothers were unable to even slightly shake King Grant. It can be said that it is a situation where one side is being beaten, if not for Taro gathering the power of the 6 Ultra Brothers and becoming a super Ultra Warrior, then he successfully used the miraculous light of the universe, so he finally won, but it also gathered the power of 6 Ultra Warriors. That's 6 against 1. And now, Sarron can easily suppress King Durant with just one person. It's simply outrageous. Roar! King Gulant dragged his huge and hard steel body and tried to stand up, but before I succeeded, I felt a huge force coming from my abdomen. Boom! One step as heavy as a mountain. The ground shook violently, and a deep pit suddenly appeared. King Gulant neighed, his limbs swaying and struggling. I wanted to resist, but I couldn't get up at all. Seeing this scene, Ace, Hikari, Tregear and others couldn't help but feel that it was too cruel, but Sarron didn't stop. The right leg was still exerting force, black mist lingered, and bursts of black and red thunder snakes flashed. Boom! 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 Each kick is as heavy as steel. After just a few kicks, on the steel body of King Gulant, which has extremely strong defensive power, immediately, deep dents and cracks appeared, wisps of electric sparks flashed, and the internal circuit structure was clearly visible. How dare you mess with me? Aiming at the growing crack, Sarron continued to launch a stampede attack. In the midst of the lightning, King Gulant could only let out bursts of whine after being beaten, in an instant. The originally ferocious King Gulant was now like a weak little monster, just as a huge and majestic figure exuding strong evil aura was violently struck. Secretly, Tartarus couldn't stand it anymore, waved his golden right hand, and decided to control King Durant himself. Ho ho ho! King Gulant, who was still struggling in pain and unable to fight back, immediately stood still, as if he had lost his life. When Sarron saw it, he was stunned for a moment. He thought that the opponent was so impatient that he died after just a few attacks, but Ace suddenly woke up and warned urgently, Salon, be careful, there is a scam. But Tartarus sneered, it's too late, you are too young after all. The next moment, King Gulant's originally dim eyes glowed red. Swish! 2 red lasers shot out and hit Sarron's chest, sparks flying everywhere. Take advantage of this gap. King Gulant's head suddenly raised, and his large mouth full of steel teeth opened. A powerful wave of energy particles quickly condensed, exuding terrifying destructive power. Sarron! Ace was shocked and flew out suddenly. Attack! Tartarus still sneered. Boom! Smoke and dust billowed, clouds evaporated, and terrifying particle energy waves spewed out. Shoot directly at Sarron. The power of terror makes people tremble. Even if they are prepared, no one can be intact when facing it. After all, the power of the Charon laser can destroy the Earth, Mars, and Jupiter in one strike. When I thought Sarron was going to die, unexpectedly, Sarron actually advanced instead of retreating, and quickly leaned down, resist the attack of Gulan laser head-on. Sizzle! In a shower of sparks, he quickly grabbed the steel-toothed beast's mouth of King Gulant with his left hand and slashed it down with the blade of his right arm. Bang! In the horrified eyes of everyone, King Gulant's steel-toothed beast's mouth was cut off in half. A large number of incandescent sparks spew out, like an erupting volcano. With a low roar, Sarron exerted his strength again. The ferocious muscular arms suddenly lifted King Durant high into the air, standing tall on the earth. The extremely fierce aura spread out in all directions, like ripples materializing, roaring, and dust flying. How is this possible? It's unbelievable how strong Sarron's body is. It's scary. Is he really the Blue Clan's Ultraman? Powerful Ultra Warrior. For King Gulant, who was previously invincible, he was actually reduced to his current miserable situation. Ace, Hikari, Tregear, and the life forms of Abai were shocked, as if they had seen a ghost. The one with the most embarrassed expression was naturally Tartarus. He didn't expect that as the leader of the kingdom, he would, even if you control the monster yourself, you will be defeated. Or from an Ultraman who only has legendary strength. With anger, Tartarus just wanted to continue to manipulate King Durant to launch a counterattack. See an incredible scene. I saw Sarron suddenly smashing down the high-raised King Durant, and quickly raising his right knee, forming a combined up and down attack. Bang! 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 The muscles were strong, like a layer of steel armor attached to him, and he was hit by several knees. The mechanical beast body of King Goulant immediately experienced extreme distortion and deformation, as if it was bent in half, and there was a crackling sound of metal breaking. It could only make painful animal sounds continuously and endure the inhumane torture. Then Sarron threw King Grant into the sky. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, thinking that he didn't want to torture him anymore, but they never thought. Sarron leaned forward slightly, and aimed at the sky with two devil-like hideous horns that curved on both sides of his head. Immediately, a large amount of dark energy surged from all directions, gathering like a black fog in the center of the hideous horns. Buzz buzz buzz. With the gathering of energy, the extremely dense black fog condensed into a terrifying energy black hole with a faint blood-red halo. And as the energy intensified, the blood-red energy black hole became larger and larger. With every second that passed, the surrounding pressure became several times stronger. First, the sand and gravel trembled, and the earth faintly cracked. Then, under the terrifying pressure, Ace, Hikari, Torikia and others retreated hundreds of meters away. They only dared to watch this scene from a distance. Such a strong breath. Is this the power brought by Sarron's new form? That blood-red black hole is constantly absorbing energy, like a bottomless pit. Oh my God, how terrifying will this power be? Everyone looked at him in shock, waiting for the moment when this move appeared. The crisis is coming. In mid-air, the dying King Grant suddenly woke up and was about to take defense. In the red pupil, a blood-red light and shadow were immediately reflected. P.S. Thank you at 13146. For the monthly ticket. Please ask again. I've been stuck for a day and don't know how to write. 5 updates a day. If you miss it, you must make up for it tomorrow. Please. Chapter 32 Scare away the little golden man. Why are you so strong? Boom. A blood-red light column blasted through, and the shadow was tens of meters in diameter. The continuous sweep caused blood-red ripples wherever it passed, superimposed into a terrifying wave of air, and the air was scorched and evaporated into wisps of smoke. Roar, roar, roar. King Grant made a sharp beast cry in the red light, and his steel body quickly dissolved and turned into particles and scattered. The super-combined monster King Grant died. Tiny black particles slowly fell from the sky and drifted to the ground with the wind. It seemed to witness that King Grant had been here before, and witnessed his death again. Chapter 32. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ace, Hikari, Tragear, and the life forms of Abe's star were all speechless. Apart from being shocked, doubts arose in my heart. Is this really a move that a righteous ultra warrior should know? If they disagree, they will fire energy cannons, instantly killing the enemy into nothingness, leaving not even a scrap behind. I want to ask who is the most cruel in the kingdom of light. That's Ace. But, no matter how cruel Ace is in his past, he must have been in a scene where he faced off against Sarron just now. It's completely out of proportion. Not on the same level at all. With complicated thoughts, people looked through the thick smoke. Ahead. A terrifying figure with a formidable momentum, a curved head and a body like a muscular armor was slowly raising its back. The huge body is tall and majestic, with simple patterns outlined in dark blue and black, yet full of mystery. On the bulging chest with lumpy muscles, the sunken oval timing light is like a devil's fountain, tempting the mind. Standing upright on a piece of dry land that is cracked and devoid of grass, this is Sarron. Suddenly, he slowly turned his head, staring at the corner of the sky with cold and sharp eyes, suddenly exuding a murderous intention. You guy! How dare you look directly at me like that? Tartarus was furious in his heart and slowly raised his hand set with red gems. Quickly wrap up a large amount of golden lightning. Obviously, he wants to kill Sarron. But right now, a cold snort rang out in Tartarus's ears, seeming to contain supreme power. Without hesitation, he immediately dissipated his energy, turned around and stepped into Narek, and left a cruel message. Land of Light, just wait. The Absolute clan will definitely take back everything. Then it disappeared into the darkness. The guy left. With a murmur, Sarron slowly dissipated the energy. Exit the enhanced and sublimated form and return to its original appearance. Although once it is turned on, it can have the strength to span 3 small realms, but this is based on unlocking your own hidden potential, not only energy consumption, but also indescribable consumption of spirit, willpower, endurance, physical strength, etc. Therefore, based on Sarron's current strength, it cannot be maintained for the time being. However, he believes that with the improvement of comprehensive abilities in all aspects, the so-called enhanced and sublimated form now will become the regular form by then. Moreover, after first developing the talent of extremely vicious source, Sarron can clearly feel, mysterious talents really have endless potential. In the future, he will usher in more forms. Salon, are you okay? At this time, Ace's voice came. This was followed by 2 heavy pats on the shoulder. Instructor Ace, I'm fine. Sarron responded with a faint smile, slowly recovering the energy he had consumed. Salon, well done. Thank you for saving Abai Xing. Hikari made an excited voice and put his arms across his chest to express his heartfelt thanks. Thank you, legendary warrior. Thanks. Thanks. The Abai star life forms and countless crystal life forms also sketched human shapes one after another, imitating them in a pattern. Sarron smiled heartily and waved his hand, indicating that everything was a small matter. Traegir ran forward and asked out of curiosity, Brother Sarron, you are too strong, can you teach me? And why are you so powerful even though they are all Ultraman Blue? As soon as the question came out, it attracted everyone's attention, whether it's Ace or Hikari, or the Abai star life forms, and countless crystal life forms. For them, it's all about trying to figure out why Sarron is so strange. A naturally weak blue Ultraman, it should be shining in the field of scientific research and construction. But he just didn't. I have to study hard in the combat field where I have the least talent, became the strongest of the younger generation. In other words, even the older generation of Ultraman can only be defeated by very few. Looking at the curious eyes of everyone, Sarron was silent for a moment, then slowly said, well, this is because. Everyone's eyes were blazing, their expressions were excited, waiting for the next words. What will you say? I had a chance encounter and received guidance from some mysterious and powerful ultra warriors, or rely on scientific research talents to invent powerful equipment that changes combat effectiveness, or what to say. P.S. Come on, gentlemen. Chapter 33, Sarron, only rely on my own efforts. Famous teacher Ace. Everyone looked at Sarron with curiosity, expect him to reveal the secret. Sarron was lost in thought, his thoughts wandering. In the ideal society of the Kingdom of Light, although there is no strict class distinction, everyone performs their duties and concentrates on doing their best to build a crime-free society. But no matter how ideal a society is, every individual has his or her own personality. This is an important factor that distinguishes people. Since there are personalities, there will be differences. If there are differences, there will be struggles. Struggles are the behavioral manifestation of personal desires. The most prominent personal desire in the Kingdom of Light is whether one can have strong military force and join the Space Guard. But whether one has strong military force is not only related to innateness, but also to acquired opportunities. Comparing his own conditions, Salon had a clear understanding. He immediately said loudly, since the day I was born, Salon has neither racial talent nor acquired opportunities. I have come to this day step by step and entered the elite level of strength, so I rely on my own unremitting efforts. Sarron stood with his hands behind his back straight, and his tone full of pride. Ace. Hikari. Traegir. The 3 of them were silent, their eyes were dull, and their faces were stiff. Salon glanced slightly, showing doubt, but the 3 of them pretended to ignore it and walked away together chatting and laughing. On the surface, it was calm. The 3 people cursed in their hearts, you are fooling me. You think we are all fools, right? If hard work is really useful without any talent, then everyone in this world is a mysterious level strongman. After all, the higher the upper limit of a road, the stronger the talent required is actually. And in the ultra world, martial arts is obviously the road with the highest upper limit, the talent required can be imagined. Legendary hero. How hard do you have to work to reach your level? That the life forms of Aber Star and countless crystal life forms surrounded him and whispered, obviously believed, just suffered an attack from an evil monster. They were more eager to protect their own power than anyone else. Seeing that someone was listening, Sarron nodded with satisfaction and began to tell his thoughts. Fly 10,000 kilometers every day. 10,000 push-ups, 10,000 sit-ups, 10,000 squats. No matter the wind or rain, keep exercising. The life forms of Aber Star that turned into human shapes and countless crystal life forms listened carefully and nodded continuously. It feels like the road to becoming stronger is slowly opening up. You guys keep doing it. Chapter 33. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As long as you work as hard as I do, you will definitely become stronger, Sarron said seriously. Thank you, brave lord. We will definitely persevere. Thank you, the legendary brave lord. The voices of thanks rang out one after another. Sarron was satisfied, thinking that he had finally passed on the secret of becoming stronger. Suddenly, a crisp system prompt sounded in Sarron's ears. Today's sign-in has been refreshed. Do you want to sign in? Sarron walked aside silently, whispering in his heart, System, sign in for Sarron, sign in successfully, get ferocity value plus 100. 100 points of ferocity value. System, what do you mean? Sarron's eyes were stunned, and he couldn't believe it. In the past, the ferocity value was a little bit, but now it's directly 100 points. I can't figure it out at all. On the other side, Ace, Hikari, and Torikia stood and talked. Well, should we tell the truth about the life form of Aber Planet? Hiss. Forget it, give the life form of Aber Planet a little hope to become stronger. Anyway, it's harmless and maybe it will be useful. Obviously, none of the three believe this. They are all Ultramen who have lived for thousands of years. How can they not have any judgment ability? I have to say that Sarron is really full of infinite possibilities. But it's still you Ace who taught him well. Hikari glanced at the Knight's Breath wristband and said seriously. It's just a so-so. This kid still needs to work harder. Ace looked indifferent and put on an unfathomable look. He was secretly happy in his heart. He almost couldn't help laughing. Don't you see, which student was taught by the first master in the universe? Hikari, who has experienced many ups and downs, naturally saw Ace's little tricks, just smiled faintly. The three major organizations of the Kingdom of Light, the Space Guard, the Science Research Bureau, and the Crusaders. In theory, they are equal in status. As the director of the Scientific Research Bureau, his status and age are naturally comparable to Zofi's. Torikia nodded secretly, and his restless heart calmed down. After all, there are predecessors and special examples, so he no longer has wild thoughts and is much more content. At this time, an Ultraman sign-in from the Kingdom of Light appeared in the sky. P.S. Just a little bit is enough, dear readers. Chapter 34 Rebellious Mebius. 1 red plus 3 blues, how to play. It's the captain's call signal. Ace looked up at the Ultraman's signature and immediately interpreted the meaning. I caused trouble for the Space Guard. Hikari said with guilt. Torikia heard the voice and lowered his head silently. Although the starting point is good, he also has responsibilities. We are all part of the Kingdom of Light, so nothing is too much trouble. No matter who is missing, the Space Guard will do everything in its power to find them. Ace stretched out his clenched fist and persuaded in a deep voice. Seeing that Hikari's mood had improved, he said again, go back, don't let the captain worry anymore. Well. Okay, I'll go call Brother Salon. Go. After a while, all the members gathered together and said goodbye to the life form of Aber Star. Shit. Ha. Humph. Wow. Under the gaze of the life form of Aber Star, 4 light balls of various colors flew into the sky, broke through the atmosphere, and left Aber Star, the Kingdom of Light. the Space Guard headquarters, Father of Ultra and Zoffy were watching the virtual screen in front of them. There was an image of two figures fighting. An Ultra warrior with red and white patterns was fighting a steel robot. But it is different from the image of the invincible Ultra warrior in the past. This Ultra warrior was beaten back step by step, rolling around in the city buildings to avoid. He was hit by stray bullets fired by the steel robot from time to time, and fell into a ruin. Alas! Mebius. Seeing this, Ultra Father couldn't help shaking his head. Zoffy pondered, Captain, does Mebius still choose not to return to the Kingdom of Light? Ultra Father sighed helplessly, it's useless to persuade him. It's been made clear that with his strength, facing the upcoming crisis, the possibility of sacrificing his life will greatly increase. But Mebius still wants to protect the Earth and is unwilling to leave. Ultra Father had a headache. He didn't expect how long he had been on Earth. Mebius has established such a strong bond with the Earthlings, even if he has to sacrifice his life, he is unwilling to retreat. Mebius. Zoffy fell into thought. At the beginning, it was just to prevent Mebius from being led astray by Sarron. Was it the right decision to send him to Earth? Now it's all right, such a good kid has learned to rebel. Just when the two were having a headache, the battle on the virtual screen went downhill again. After several fierce attacks, Mebius fell to the ground and couldn't get up. He covered his chest and struggled, but the unparalleled Iron God Impreza didn't care. The cannon on his shoulder turned, and countless powerful fireballs were fired from the muzzle, shooting at Mebius at a very fast speed. At the critical moment, Mebius rolled to avoid it. In the smoke, he turned into a brave form, and the Mebius Knight lightsaber appeared on his right arm, slashing at Impreza. With the splash of fire, a mechanical right arm was cut off and fell to the ground. Seeing this scene, Ultra Father and Zoffy, who were nervous just now, finally breathed a sigh of relief, but the next second, Impreza's right arm immediately grew a broad steel sword and slashed it backhandedly. Mebius was directly chopped and flew dozens of meters away, knocking down several high-rise buildings in succession, and fell heavily to the ground. And he couldn't get up anymore. But Impreza's attack attacked again. Mebius. Mebius. Ultra Father and Zoffy couldn't help but exclaimed, feeling nervous. After all, they are father and brother. Fortunately, Taro, who traveled all night from the Kingdom of Light, finally arrived on Earth and directly blocked all attacks. Seeing Taro's appearance, Ultra Father and Zoffy are no longer worried. Just right, Sarron, Ace, Hikari, and Tragear returned to the Kingdom of Light, already arrived at the Space Guard headquarters. Captain! 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 The four saluted slightly. Chapter 34. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Just come back safely. Ultra Father gave a look of appreciation and patted several people on the shoulders. Traditional Ultra greeting etiquette. Ace, the person in charge of the task, stepped forward and explained the whole process one by one, from the crisis of Aber Planet, to the evil monster Bagaru, to the appearance of King Gran. King Gran? Why did it appear? Hearing this, Ultra Father waved his hand to interrupt, and the worry on his face became more serious. There are more and more abnormal things recently. Not only is the Earth facing a crisis, but there are also powerful monsters appearing on Aber Planet. Yes, Captain, the super-combined monster King Gran, who should have died, appeared on Aber Planet. Ace looked solemn. Then how do you get rid of King Gran? Zoffy asked doubtfully. As a member of the war that year, he knew the power and terror of King Gran. Looking at the combat power configuration in front of him again, 1 red plus 3 blue, how can this be defeated? P.S. It's 12 o'clock in the evening, I'm begging for help. Chapter 35. Mebius is too weak, the Ultraman spirit of not seeking rewards. No. To be precise, it's 1 silver and 3 blue. And there is only 1 legendary fighter leading the team, compared with the 6 Ultramen who had 4 silvers, 2 reds, and 6 legends. No matter how you compare, there is no comparison. Zoffy couldn't figure it out. Ultraman Father also looked puzzled. Could it be that Ace's strength has exceeded the legendary realm and reached the legendary level? Anyone with this strength is a world-dominant overlord. Such as Ultraman Father of the Kingdom of Light, the Dark Universe Emperor Starman, the future Galactic Empire Belia, and the ultimate bosses in various TV dramas and theater versions, Ordinary Ultimate Ultraman, etc. Although it seems that many people are in the legendary realm, but when it comes to fighting, the gap between people can be said to be a world of 100,000 miles, it might even be easier than a legendary warrior killing a junior warrior in seconds. They are totally not in the same league. Sensing the questioning in the eyes of Ultra Father and Zoffy, Ace coughed twice, thanks to Sarron this time. If Sarron hadn't made a breakthrough on the battlefield, we would have had a hard time returning to the Kingdom of Light. That as he spoke, Ace took 2 steps back and made way. Sarron stepped forward and nodded slightly. Sarron. Ultra Father and Zoffy were stunned for a moment, their eyes full of shock. It was unbelievable, an elite warrior could repel such a powerful super-combined monster King Grander. This is a super monster born by the Cosmic Emperor Zoda using the monster evil spirits floating in the universe to fuse, and its strength is extremely powerful. Hikari. Ultra Father looked to one side, he needed more powerful testimony. Hikari replied, Captain, that's true. Sarron suddenly awakened his power during the battle and possessed a fighting power that rivaled King Grant. Traeger exclaimed at the same time, yes, yes. Sarron awakened his power and possessed an extremely powerful figure, 10,000 times more ferocious and domineering than now. Then he released a terrifying energy wave from his 2 long horns. He easily suppressed King Grant. Traeger was very excited, gesturing with his hands, and even raised sharp horns on both sides of his head, as if he wanted to reproduce the scene at that time. Ace, Hikari, and Traeger, the 3 parties spoke together and supplemented the description of the battle. Ultra Father was silent, Zoffy was speechless, looking at Sarron with a calm face again. The 2 were speechless for a long time. Is the gap between Ultraman and Ultraman really that big? Why can activating a new form achieve such a big leap? From elite to legend. It's not from beginner to intermediate, or from intermediate to advanced. The energy required to cross each realm is exponentially multiplied. How can it be so easy? Ultra Father and Zoffy's depression became more and more intense, thinking of activating a new form. The 2 of them looked at the battle scene on the virtual screen at the same time. Mebius, there will also switch forms, but how can it be so exaggerated? Captain. Brother Zoffy. Ace saw that the 2 had not spoken for a long time and greeted them twice, fearing that the 2 could not bear such a heavy contrast. Oh. After being awakened, Ultra Father and Zoffy looked strange. I didn't want to say anything, they were afraid that they would exclaim as soon as they opened their mouths, causing Salon to feel dizzy. Just step forward. One of them gave Sarron a Ultraman etiquette, patted his shoulders, nodded, and gave him an admiring look. Sarron. He was really impressed by the old people in the Kingdom of Light. It happened every time, serving the leader of the Kingdom of Light, he should at least give something practical, right? No one works for nothing, but on second thought, I felt that this was indeed in line with the philosophy of the Kingdom of Light. There is no such thing as material rewards. This is something that the Earth Society came up with to stimulate the enthusiasm of people who do things, but the Kingdom of Light is an ideal society. The Ultra Warriors are dedicated masters, messengers of justice, and evil nemesis. They are the first to kill monsters and enemies, and they will do the tasks as soon as they are assigned, without any slacking spirit. Just when Salon was speechless, the usual rewards from the Kingdom of Light came. Thank you, Salon, for successfully preventing the invasion of evil forces. Protecting the peace of Aber Star and defending the justice of the Kingdom of Light. Captain, this is what I should do. Salon replied expressionlessly, reminding himself secretly in his heart, we are the righteous warriors of the Kingdom of Light. No reward, no profit, everything is to maintain peace as our responsibility. Suddenly, Father of Ultra asked, have you discovered how King Gran appeared? Or which evil cosmic force created it? That when asked, everyone looked at each other. Ace, Hikari, and Traeger all shook their heads, indicating that they had not noticed, but Salon said, in the dark, there is a powerful energy. P.S. Please give me a little bit, just a little bit. I owe you 1 chapter today and yesterday, and 2 chapters for the monthly ticket, plus 5 chapters today. 1/8, Chapter 36, Burning Phoenix. The Invasion War of the Emperor People. What? A cry of surprise rang out. Sarron, have you noticed the other party's identity? Zofi asked seriously. As far as we know, only the Universe Emperor Zoda of that year has this ability, but Zoda has already died, and it is not time for him to be resurrected. Then the person who can summon King Gran must be a terrifying figure with similar strength. Salon shook his head. After defeating King Gran, the figure wanted to take action, but for some reason, he disappeared immediately. Indeed, at that time on the planet Aber, although he found something unusual, he also keenly sensed the other party's killing intention, but at the critical moment, he failed. Just choose to slip away. Then Salon ignored it. The information is limited, so this is the only way. It seems that we need to inform the members of the security team to stay alert when they go out on missions in the future. Zofi's tone was solemn. Chapter 35. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The father of Ultra was meditating, his sharp eyes looking through the kingdom of light into the distance. It seems to be verifying something. Seeing that the atmosphere was a bit heavy, Ultra's father smiled lightly. Children, don't be so nervous. For tens of thousands of years, in the face of the invasion of dark forces, doesn't the kingdom of light still exist? Besides, isn't there still a king here? The words fell to the ground, but there were still echoes. Zofi, Ace, Hikari, Tregir, Sarron, they all calmed down instantly, just because the other party is the king of the Ultra clan, possessing strength that surpasses any Ultra warrior in the kingdom of light. He is regarded as an existence by the Ultra clan like the patron saint of the universe. But it's impossible for the king to take action on everything, just like this. The father of Ultra waved his cloak and enlarged the virtual image into the air. It's still a battle scene on Earth, however, unlike in the beginning only Mebius was fighting, now also adding Taro. The opponent remains the same, it is still the robot, the unparalleled Iron God Impeliza. The battle scene in the valley immediately attracted everyone's attention. This is Taro and Mebius. Hey, what's going on? This robot looks so familiar. Yes, that's right. It's the robot that belongs to the Legion of the Ampera planet, Impeliza. Several people were shocked, realizing that a terrible crisis is coming. After tens of thousands of years of cultivation, the Ampera people have resurrected and reorganized their strength, planning to invade the Earth and start a war. Everyone's expressions instantly became serious. At this time, the battle in the virtual image is gradually coming to an end. Taro joins the battle to attract firepower, and because of the friendship and bond of Guy's companions, Mebius awakened his own power, and the flame energy generated by the response in his body surrounded his body. Transformed into the burning hero, form with a flame symbol on his chest. With the use of Mambam Burst, the unparalleled Iron God Impeliza was finally blown up and disappeared into the valley. The father of Ultra waved slightly, and the image disappeared. This is the battle that takes place on Earth. Originally, I wanted the child Mebius to return to the Kingdom of Light, and Taro would take over the responsibility of defending the Earth. Alas, but this child is too stubborn. Ultra's father was quite helpless and had a headache. Zwelfei said seriously, Captain, I will forcefully bring back Mebius. The situation is now in turmoil, and the Earth has become the flashpoint of the next cosmic war. We must not let Mebius lose his life in vain just because of his hot-headedness. After going through those years, Zwelfei knew it well, as the great emperor of the Dark Universe, if the Amperans want to start a war, it must be within the scope of the entire universe. Just a pioneer robot that invades the Earth has such terrifying combat power. Zwelfei couldn't imagine how many terrifying beings would join the war later. No, the crisis is coming, and the Kingdom of Light cannot do without you, Zwelfei. Ultra's father interrupted the proposal. The Kingdom of Light is the root of all Ultra warriors, it is an extremely important place and the last line of defense for the forces of light, no room for error. This. Zofi paused. At this time, the father of Ultra turned his attention to Sarron. Child. The meaning is obvious, everyone doesn't have time, why don't you go to Earth and bring Mebius back? Otherwise, it's impossible to let the other two Ultraman Blue go, who are really powerless, right? Yes, Captain. Sarron shrugged. He knew that things would happen to him. The total population of the Kingdom of Light has exceeded 18 billion, and the security force is about 1 million, but the Real pillars are still very few and can be counted on a few hands. Not to mention, this is still the period of Membius, but that's fine. I was a native of Earth in my previous life, and now I am going to visit my familiar homeland of Earth. In addition, the system check-in location has not been refreshed. After checking in several times, Sarron had a vague feeling that there was nothing more to do than just sit and wait. You may also need to walk around and go to more places where drama may occur. Maybe it might trigger a refresh of the check-in location. P.S. A little bit, just 100 million bits. Dear readers. February 8, Chapter 37 Superman Aguang's whimsical idea. The King of Ultra and the Father of Ultra. The rewards for signing in at the location are quite eye-catching. The first place to sign in is at the L60 Planet Group, and you will get the multi-level talent, Forbidden Dharma God. Sarron directly changed from a weak chicken to an Ultraman. Various light skills are at your fingertips, you can learn them at a glance, and you can play them in random ways. Check in for the second time at Ultra Arena and gain 2 auxiliary abilities, 100% energy absorption conversion efficiency, double energy storage. With the addition of 2 major auxiliary abilities, the shortcomings of the blue 3-second man can be improved. Sarron can use light skills at will, and even uses Ultra Guillotine as a sword-controlling technique. The third sign-in location was at a by-star. First, I obtained a multi-level talent, the Human Martial Saint. He made up for the problem of the Blue Clan's poor fighting talent in one fell swoop, and immediately transformed into a martial saint, and learned all kinds of fighting skills casually. Then he received the gift of the life form of the Aber Star, developed the mysterious talent the source of extreme ferocity, and activated the powerful sublimation form. He turned into a fierce god on Earth, full of murderous aura, and every punch and kick was powerful. He gathered the power of darkness, and a pair of demon horns stood up. He even completed a virtual flash move similar to Ichigo Judo. As for what the fourth time is, Sarron doesn't know, but he is looking forward to it. After some explanation, Sarron left the Space Guard headquarters and prepared to set off for the Earth. Seeing that everything was fine, Hikari and Torikiya also prepared to leave. The two walked on the road and whispered to each other. Captain Hikari, I'm still curious about why Brother Sarron is so strong. Anyway, he said that he relied on hard work, but I don't believe it. Torikiya's crazy curiosity was fully displayed. The thoughtful look in his eyes was extremely strong. Hikari smiled faintly. It's okay. Although I don't understand why, I saw a possibility from the example of Sarron. What possibility? Torikiya asked in confusion. Each of our 3 tribes has its own advantages and strengths. Although the blue tribe is not talented in combat, our scientific research talent is unique. Not only in the Kingdom of Light, but also in this vast universe. This is also true, Hikari said meaningfully, his eyes deep and bright. Captain Hikari, you mean? Torikiya seemed to understand something. Right. That's right. Why can't we use our talent in scientific research to develop various scientific and technological equipment to improve our strength? Hikari clenched his fists excitedly, and countless wonderful ideas emerged in his mind. Torikiya was surprised and said, yes, if we can use technological equipment to gain power. Then not only our blue Ultraman can fight, but also Ultraman of other races who are not talented can have fighting power. That's right. Hikari seemed to have found a new goal in life, and was full of energy. Let's go, Torikiya, let's work together. Yes. Commander Hikari. Accompanied by the conversation, the two slowly walked out of the Space Guard headquarters. Walked straight to the Space Science and Technology Bureau. Ultrafather, Zoffy, and Ace all smiled kindly. Everyone was very happy to see Hikari regain his fighting spirit. After all, such an outstanding scientist cannot use his intelligence. It is not only a loss for the Kingdom of Light, but also a loss for the universe. But for some reason, hearing Hikari's various ideas, the 3 of them inexplicably felt a sense of palpitations. Chapter 36. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As if, it seems that in the future we will encounter extremely annoying situations and lose something. Captain, I'm going down then. Ace said simply. then turned and left, but it's not far away. Just after leaving the Space Guard headquarters, at a corner, he was stopped by Zuofei. "Brother Zuofei, what's wrong?" "Well, Ace, there's something you need to do." "What's up?" "Go to Earth and give Sarron to Leo." Ace didn't understand. "Brother Zuofei, why did you give Sarron to Leo?" Zuofei responded calmly, "Well, this is the order I got from the captain." Ace was puzzled. Is there such a thing? Snap! A crisp sound echoed. "Just execute the captain's order," Zuofei said coldly. "Yes." Ace didn't ask any questions, covered his face and left, but I silently recorded this ultra slap in my heart. After Ace left, Zuofei sighed faintly. That's probably what the captain meant. Ever since I heard Ultra's father's riddle words with unknown meaning, Zuofei thought hard all day long. Trying to extract useful information from unfocused words has never been successful. Finally, today, after listening to Ace and others describing the battle on Abai Star, also saw Ultra's father sending Sarron to Earth, Zuofei realized it. It turns out that the captain was afraid that Sarron would become number 2 Barrier. Otherwise, why are you talking about so much and sending us to such a dangerous Earth? When I contacted Sarron again, I learned a few light skills from Ace, but I am definitely not that good at fighting skills. But to be on the safe side, isn't it the most correct choice to hand it over directly to fighting King Leo? It's just in the name of teaching that I can hone my temperament. In this way, I will never become Barrier number 2. King Star. Ah, chirp. Which bad boy is talking about this captain behind my back? As soon as he landed safely, the father of Ultra suddenly sneezed. While muttering, he slowly walked towards the depths of King Star. Not long after, a king's figure appeared, arms folded in front of his chest, standing on the high and low rocks. "King!" With a soft cry, the king's figure turned his head instantly. It is the king of the Ultra clan, the king of Ultra. Kane. The 2 highest status people in the Kingdom of Light met. P.S. Thank you at 13799. For the monthly ticket, thank you. Ask for a little bit, just 100 million bits. March 8th, there are 5 chapters left. Keep fighting. Chapter 38, a complete collection of healing and restoring light. Leo is a good brother. Just as the King of Ultra and the Father of Ultra met, Sarron is already on his way to Earth. Call up the star map of the universe. Each flash point represents the coordinate position of a planet. After some inspection, the coordinates of the Earth can be determined. Just as he was about to leave, the system prompt sounded. Today's sign-in has been refreshed. Do you want to sign in? Sign in. Sign in successfully and get the skill, Healing and Restoration Light Collection. Cure and Restore Light. Seeing the reward, Sarron was stunned. I learned so much violent light with Ace that I almost forgot that Ultraman is a warrior of justice. Violent destruction is definitely not a method worth advocating. Influence and healing are what we should learn. You must not turn convincing people with principles into convincing people with physics. Just like a kind-hearted Ultraman Gauss, no, loving Musashi. Let me see what's in the kindness package. Sarron flipped through the introduction, and a series of names immediately popped up. Comprehensive list of healing and recovery rays. Healing Ray Ace, Light of Life Taro, Ultra Spray Zoffy, Resurrection Ray Leo, Medical Ray Eddie, Energy Healing First Generation. Well, not bad, not bad. Let's see who dares to say that I, Sarron, am the brutal Ultraman. Sarron was satisfied, glanced at it, and saw that the sign-in destination had been refreshed. Sign-in location, Kuroshio Island. Kuroshio Island, heading towards the coordinates of the Earth, Sarron began to think. In my vague memory, I only know that Kuroshio Island was the place where Leo's first battle on Earth broke out, but because the magma people are too cunning, they like to use more enemies than fewer enemies. Although the enemy was finally repelled, Kuroshio Island was submerged by the resulting tsunami. I don't know what the reward will be. In anticipation, Sarron, who transformed into a group of deep blue light, moved forward even faster. Earth, Kuroshio Island, surrounded by the sea, dark brown rocks are dotted along the coastline. From time to time, there are roaring waves splashing on the shore, forming a unique landform environment. It is different from the calm island. A fierce battle was taking place on a wide forest floor. Ha! That with a fierce shout, a red figure of the Ultra Warrior rushed towards the enemy and punched hard, boom. Punch hard on the shield. Surprisingly, this Ultraman didn't cause any damage to the enemy, but fell back at a faster speed. He hit the ground hard, and the forest shook. Mebius, is this all you can do? That the cosmic man walked forward with a sneer. He was covered with solid armor, equipped with a round shield, swords, chains and other weapons. It was the light wave cosmic man, Revelite. Damn it! That Mebius slammed his fist on the ground and stood up and rushed forward. Humph, you're looking for death. That seeing this, Revelite slowly pushed forward without rushing. Instant. The two fought together and started a fierce close combat. Bang. 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 Mebius was furious, and each punch contained power, and kept hitting Revelite's body covered with solid armor. There were bursts of ringing sounds, and sparks emerged. Mebius, is that all? Push harder. Even so, the Revelite sneered and punched hard. He knocked Mebius several meters away, creating a cloud of smoke. Future. At this moment, a Phoenix fighter appeared, and as Ehara Ryu pressed the attack button hard, red laser bullets were fired continuously. All of them hit the Revelite's chest, and the flames splashed. Human. How dare you destroy my body? The Revelite said in a cold tone, and stretched out an iron sword from his right arm, aiming at the Phoenix fighter and slashing it. The speed was so fast that it was jaw-dropping. It was about to hit. Mebius arrived just in time and knocked the Revelite out with his shoulder. Chapter 37. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Phoenix fighter also just avoided the attack, turned around, and chose to assist in the attack while being alert. Shit. With a low roar, Mebius rekindled his fighting spirit, clenched his fists, and took a fighting posture. Humph. Looking for death. The Revelite star stood firm, swung his sword fiercely, and split a mountain. The next moment, the two collided again. On a small hill not far away, the two were quietly watching Mebius's battle, shaking their heads from time to time, and sighing from time to time. Brother Ace, when did you come to Earth? Well, I came to see you as soon as I arrived on Earth. Brother Taro just went back. Did something happen that was worth your coming to Earth in person? Ah, who's talking too much? Ace turned into a human body Hokuto Seiji, Leo turned into a human body Feng Yuan. The two met in human bodies. I came to Earth to seek your help at the request of Brother Zoffy. Ace said seriously. Leo responded solemnly, Brother Ace, please tell me what you want, I will do my best to complete it. Seeing this, Ace nodded with satisfaction. What a good brother. P.S. Thank you at 13271. For the monthly ticket. I will definitely work harder. Please give me some data. April 8th, it will work. Go go go. Chapter 39 Heartbreaking Past of Nan Shizi. This is the order of the King of Ultra. Ace was satisfied. A good and excellent brother will of course listen to his brother, unlike a certain Taro. When I think of Nan Shizi, although there is nothing wrong with them, but Ace just wants to give Taro a few ultra slaps at any time. Leo, listen carefully. I heard from Brother Zoffy that a rebellious young Ultraman appeared in our land of light. Relying on his talent, he slaps us old seniors in the face every day. Ace said in a deep tone, clenching his fists. No matter what others do, anyway, his face hurts. What? How can this young warrior be so rude? Leo was furious, and unconsciously put on an angry face, like an angry lion. Indeed. Originally, Brother Zoffy considered that this young warrior had some talent in light skills, so he wanted to let me teach him. But I have too many tasks to perform. And this young warrior's fighting skills are too poor, so I recommend you, Leo. The recognized fighting king of our Ultra brothers. Ace spoke slowly, his tone became more and more excited, but he directly erased the fact that he had taught Salon in the key information. After all, Ace didn't want that dark history to be mentioned, nor did he want Leo to be affected after hearing it. Moreover, in order to make Leo more willing to teach, Ace even praised him in front of him. As expected. Leo coughed twice. Brother Ace, you are too serious. In terms of fighting ability, the first-generation brother is also good. Yes, yes. Ace's mouth twitched. If he hadn't seen the joy on Leo's face, he would have believed it. Leo, I have to explain to you in advance. This young warrior usually disguises well, you must implement the most brutal training. Hone his consciousness well and change his bad habit of always liking to slap his seniors in the face. Ace's tone became more serious. Don't worry. Brother Ace. I, Leo, will complete the task. Leo stood up straight suddenly, looking extremely serious. Well, I believe you. If you can complete this mission, not only me but also Brother Zoffy will be happy. Even the captain will be happy. Ace patted Leo on the shoulder. What does this have to do with the captain? Leo was confused and couldn't figure it out. Ace suddenly came closer and said mysteriously, "This is the order given by the King of Ultra to the captain." As soon as the words came out, Leo was shocked and said in disbelief, "It's the king." Ace hurriedly signaled to keep his voice down, and his eyes looked around. "Don't tell anyone, this is a secret mission. Don't worry. Leo will complete the mission." Under the heavy pressure, Leo made a solemn oath. If he couldn't complete it, he would punish himself to be confined to the King's Star and never go out. Ace was relieved. He knew that in addition to the identity of the Ultra Brothers, Leo had a more important identity, that is the close guard of the King of Ultra. That's why he used the name of King of Ultra to fool people. I hope Leo will put all his efforts into training Sarron. After learning about the situation, Leo was eager to try and asked anxiously, "Where is the young warrior? When will he come to Earth? What's his name?" Ace nodded with satisfaction. "His name is Sarron. He's on his way to Earth now." Suddenly, there was a violent roar and vibration from the sky, as if the sky was about to collapse and the Earth was about to split. "He's coming." Ace's face suddenly froze when he saw this. He clenched his fist secretly again. Damn, this guy will die if he doesn't pretend every time he appears, right? Don't scare Leo's enthusiasm away. On the battlefield, Mebius was once again knocked away by the Revelite. Even with the assistance of the Phoenix fighter, he couldn't gain the upper hand at all, because every batch of light bullets shot out. As soon as they touched the surface of the Revelite, they would be immediately bounced away. It has no effect at all. Ha ha ha, Mebius, Mebius. What other tricks do you have? Take them all out. Otherwise, you will die here today. The Revelite laughed wildly, shook off the attack with a round shield, and then counterattacked with a sharp sword. In an instant, Mebius was beaten back continuously, without any power to fight back. Damn it! Mebius was so angry that he turned into a brave man and swung the Mebium Knight lightsaber to attack again. Clang! 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 The lightsaber collided with the iron sword, sparks flew, and the sound of violent metal clashing echoed. Too slow! Too slow! Too slow! After fighting dozens of swords in a row, the lightsaber cut and chopped the Revelite. Easy. Success! Great, future! Just like that, cut off this damn alien in one go. In the distance, the guy's team members driving the fighter plane exclaimed and cheered for Mebius, but no one saw that the Revelite smiled strangely. P.S. Come on. Sir, 5/8, there are still 3 chapters, I can do it. Chapter 40. Mebius, what's wrong with your tears? King Sabi comes to the Earth. The next moment, the cutting light of the lightsaber dissipated, and the Revelite swung the iron sword again. Swish. The cutting light returned in full and hit Mebius. Chapter 38. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ah! With a scream, he fell down hard again, collapsed on the ground, clutching his chest and twisting. The originally blue timer energy device flashed crazily. Mebius has no power to fight anymore. Future. Future. All the guy's team members shouted anxiously. Request to use meteor technology. Ehara Ryu made an urgent request. At the base, Misaki Yuki immediately agreed. the 1-minute time limit begins counting down. Immediately afterwards, the two fighters flying wing and propulsion completed the performance liberation. Enter the maneuver mode state that enhances your attack style, with super flying capabilities and missiles with special warheads. Swish, swish, swish. Countless enhanced missiles were shot out, pulling out long meteor tails. Bang bang bang. Caught off guard, the Rev Elites were attacked, with countless sparks flying and thick white smoke rising. Earthlings! Fuck them all! The Rev Elite roared and quickly stretched out an iron chain from his left arm. In a flash of lightning, the two fighter planes flying wing and propulsion were thrown. No, get out of here. Aw! Under the control of the guy's team members, the two fighter planes made an emergency dive to avoid the iron chain attack, but immediately he saw a sword light coming towards him. Swish, the sharp sword swept across, and the sword glow bloomed with cold light. The wings of the two fighter planes were split in an instant, bursts of black smoke emitted, and they fell towards a valley. Boom. There was an explosion and flames shot into the sky. No. Membius was unable to stretch out his hand and was in agony. Because of my powerlessness, I feel unprecedented pain. Humph. Mebius, you loser. That the sarcastic laughter was harsh, but Membius dared not speak in anger, because a cold iron sword was touching his neck at this moment. There is only a few inches of distance, and if you dare to move, you may be pierced at any time. You. Mebius stood frozen on the spot, dripping with cold sweat. For the first time, he felt that life did not belong to him. Your strength is too weak. I can take your life at any time. That the sarcastic laughter of the red FLYT star became more and more intense, and he picked up the iron sword in a playful manner. He especially likes the feeling of victory when his enemies die in humiliation. Now, Mebius, who saw his teammates crash but had no power to resist, was humiliated to the extreme, but there is the possibility of further humiliation. Thinking about it, the red FLYT star took 2 steps back, turned around and left. Leave sarcastic remarks. Ha ha ha, Mebius, live with this humiliation. Next time we meet, if you are still so weak, then you die with extreme humiliation. Ha ha ha. The Rev Elite man slowly left, but his eyes were focused on Mebius. He wanted to see with his own eyes the other party's reaction to being humiliated. As expected. Ah. Membius fell to his knees in pain and hit the ground with his fists, as if to vent his grievances. Right now. There were bursts of explosions in the sky, as well as extremely cold shouts. Mombius. What do you look like? What's going on with that expression on your face? What's going on with those tears? Can your tears save your companions? Can your tears save the earth? Each sentence was like a sharp thorn, piercing Mebius's heart. Raise your head, Mebius. Words like thunder appeared at any time, rolling and surging, instantly attracting everyone's attention. Then, everyone saw a shocking and suffocating scene. I saw that the cloudless blue suddenly turned black, dark clouds rolled in, and black mist billowed, creating a great sense of oppression. Amidst the lightning and thunder, a dark blue ball of light pierced the sky, broke through the clouds, and descended rapidly. Because the speed is too fast, severe friction occurs with the air. Raging fire burst out around the dark blue light ball, wrapping it heavily. Boom! The blue light ball fell to the ground, and the powerful vibration caused Kuroshio Island to shake, as if an earthquake had occurred. Immediately afterwards, in the thick white mist rising up, everyone saw a shocking figure. In the dust and mist, a pair of upward-looking, irregular pentagonal eyes were seen emitting a milky white light, exuding a hint of coldness and murderous aura at all times. Slowly, the appearance of the light and shadow gradually became clearer. The body is mainly blue, with muscle outlines outlined by silver-white lines on the outside. There are strong muscle bulges on the chest armor and abdomen, showing a strong sense of strength. Coupled with the strong evil spirit emanating from everywhere, it gave everyone around him a strong sense of oppression and shock. As soon as I saw the figure's posture clearly, Mebius burst into tears instantly and trembled with grievance. Brother Sarron. P.S. thank you at 18630. For your support. Come on, the Saw by King appears. Readers, please give me some data and give me an appearance fee. 6/8, Chapter 41 Life on Earth is too hard. Fake gentleman. Sarron glanced slightly and nodded. This simple movement made it difficult for Membius to hold back, and the sadness gradually welled up in his heart. Since coming to Earth, he has been fighting various ferocious space monsters every day. He was beaten and bruised every time he fought, and he lost count of the times he was forced to return to human form. Moreover, in addition to fighting monsters every day, he also suffers criticism from the people on Earth from time to time. This is for a young Ultra Warrior who is about 10 years old. What a pressure. When you don't take the initiative to reveal your identity, you have to pretend to be at the guy's team headquarters. When you are teased for not being present in battles or crashing, you have to pretend not to care, pretending to be human. It's so difficult. When he saw Taro come to Earth before, he thought he was here to care about him, but he didn't expect that he would be called to know the Kingdom of Light. Of course Membius is not willing to do even the slightest thing to maintain the brotherly relationship. We can see the arrival of Sarron. That damn sense of security surged throughout my body instantly. I just selectively ignored those scoldings. A small hill, seeing this way of appearing, both Ace and Leo were stunned. By chance, a common thought emerged: Pack. Really good at pretending. Even if it comes to the Earth, there will be lightning, thunder, and storm. They were simply not as calm as the older generation of Ultra Warriors. Isn't it true that every time I come to Earth, I quietly choose an uninhabited area and arrive quickly? Brother Ace, is this Sarron? Leo's face was stiff and he asked slowly. Ace laughed twice. Haha, yes, that's him. Leo, look, he's quite prickly, right? The more he talked, the more his heart beat. I was afraid that Leo would find something suspicious and choose to ignore this mess. Never thought about it. Leo nodded heavily and said solemnly, leave him to me. Chapter 39. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I will definitely make you understand what a true Ultra Warrior is. Before he finished speaking, he punched out the towering ancient tree. Click. Bang. With the sound of breaking, the ancient tree fell to the ground. Seeing this, Ace silently began to mourn for Sarron. Sarron, don't blame me for being my teacher. I have already given you all my good words before, but who told you not to restrain yourself? Membius, look up. Sarron stepped out of the pit step by step with steady steps. Brother Sarron. Hearing this cold scolding, Membius felt ashamed and slowly stood up. Is this the iron monster humiliating you before? Sarron raised his head slightly and looked down at the Revelite with contempt. Don't wait for an answer. Ultraman Dark, watch your words when you talk to a gentleman. The red FLYT star was furious and pointed his iron sword straight at him. After looking at Sarron carefully, he blurted out his judgment. After all, that ferocious look cannot be related to the Ultra Warriors of the Kingdom of Light. But as soon as the words came out, Membius felt a chill on his back. He knew. Sarron has always been an Ultra Warrior who prides himself on justice. Take another look. Sure enough, the coldness in Sarron's eyes became more and more intense, like an ice sword condensed into substance. As a bright Ultra Warrior, I allow you a chance to apologize. Ha ha ha. Star Reflay laughed loudly. Okay, as a gentleman, I will apologize to you. Said, the Red Elite came to Sarron and bowed slightly, as if he was really ready to apologize, but the moment he bowed, he didn't see the evil light flashing in his eyes that the trick had succeeded. Aha! The sharp iron sword pierced through the air, buzzing, and struck instantly. Ha ha ha. I didn't expect it. You stupid Ultra Warriors. How dare you believe in gentlemanly etiquette? The Revelite man kept holding his sword and laughed loudly. If Sarron hadn't looked too threatening, he wouldn't have done such an embarrassing move, but as he slowly stood up, the Revelite man discovered something was wrong. How? Why does it feel like it's not piercing the body? Look up. The next moment. Then he saw the pair of upward-looking, irregular pentagon-shaped eyes that constantly exuded terrifying and murderous intent. A guy like you is not even qualified to die in my hands. That with the cold words spoken, Sarron's arm strength exploded. instantly tearing off the iron sword and taking the right arm of the Revelite star with it. At the same time, a kick as heavy as a mountain came out. Boom! The broken-armed red FLYT star was suddenly kicked hundreds of meters away. After collapsing several mountains, he fell heavily to the ground, splashing layers of ripples of dust and mist, and countless cracks suddenly appeared on the ground. This is not the end. Sarron suddenly exerted his strength, waving his hand and throwing out the right arm connected to the iron sword. The sharp sword tip fell from the sky and stabbed the Revelite star, who fell to the ground. P.S. Please give me Yi Dian, July 8th, for another chapter. It will definitely come out. Chapter 42, Give Mebius an Ultra Slap. Human beings, watch your words. Swish, swish, swish. Under the refraction of the sun, the sharp iron sword suddenly appeared silver, which was extremely dazzling. Seeing this, the Revelite star was so frightened that he closed his eyes and was heartbroken. Bang! The iron sword penetrated and made a harsh crunching sound, but gradually, the Revelite suddenly realized that he was not dead. What's going on? Why didn't I die? Is it because I am lucky and have a great destiny? As soon as the thought came out, the people from the Reflay star were ecstatic, thinking that they were the children of fate, but a contemptuous sneer came, which immediately made his mentality explode. Waste is waste, mud cannot hold up the wall. Live with this shame. Damn it. Star Renfret pushed away the iron sword beside his neck and stood up angrily, but he found that Sarron had turned around and left, walking far away. Just as he was about to launch a counterattack, he suddenly felt frightened. Humph, just wait. Afterwards, the Reflay star fled in despair, not daring to stay for a moment longer. Brother Sarron, why didn't you kill the Redvelites? Membius came over and asked doubtfully. He didn't understand why Sarron let the opponent go at the last minute. Trash only deserves to be in the trash can. Sarron's face was expressionless, feeling that killing the scum of scum like the Revelite was simply dirtying his hands, but there's a more important reason. But, he is an evil cosmic being. Mebius was still puzzled. Really want to know? I want to know. Then I tell you, Mebius, come here. Good. Snap. A crisp sound echoed. Membius was stunned, covering his face and being stunned. He couldn't figure out why he was slapped by Ultra. The guy's team members who rushed back from the crash happened to see this scene. They were immediately stunned and dumbfounded. They remembered that this new Ultraman came to help Mebius. What happened? Why did Mirai get slapped by that Ultraman? No. I don't know. It's strange, Mirai is so pitiful. Just got beaten by the Revelite star, and now he's beaten by this Ultraman. Teppei Q's, Georgia Karuga, Marina Kazama, and Kiyuki Amaya were all stunned. Shingo Sasaki and Yuki Misaki at the guy's base were also stunned. At this time, the hot-tempered Ryu Ehara couldn't stand it anymore. After a burst of running, he rushed forward and roared, "Hey! Aren't you companions? Why do you treat the future like this? Ah! Why did you slap the future?" Ehara Ryu was so angry that his face turned red and he was furious. He madly condemned Salon for slapping Mebius. Everyone! Mebius, who was covering his painful face, was moved at first, and then frightened. In his impression, no Ultraman dared to yell in front of Salon, not to mention any human. Looking back, it was true. He saw Salon, expressionless, slowly looking at Ehara Ryu, releasing an extremely strong and cold breath. Zzzz. The dark energy in his right hand suddenly increased, and the 8-point light will turned wildly, making a roaring sound. Brother Salon! Stop it! Mebius panicked. He knew he couldn't stop the other party, but he still wanted to fight. However, he had just taken 2 steps when he saw a shocking scene. The 8-point light will flew out and was thrown in the direction of Ehara Ryu, but it just passed over his head quickly and finally chopped straight towards a mountain. Swish, swish, swish. In an instant, a mountain of hundreds of meters was cut into 2 parts, slowly separated, leaving an extremely smooth cut. Chapter 40. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Boom. Half of the mountain peak fell to the ground, waking up the shocked people. Human, watch your words. Sarron smiled coldly and slowly dissipated the energy. The pale Ehara Ryu nodded immediately, yes, yes. Then he ran away with an awkward smile, not daring to stay any longer. I'm afraid that if Sarron suddenly takes action again, no one will be able to save him. The rest of the guy's members gathered around. Long. You are too impulsive. Really, you guys think that everyone has such a good temper in the future. Okay, although this ultra warrior looks a little cruel, he is still a righteous warrior of the Kingdom of Light. Humph, what do you guys know? How can you appreciate this without understanding? How can this be called cruelty? This is obviously extremely in line with the violent aesthetics of our human senses. Yes, what do you women like to say? The guy's members were talking a lot and waiting on one side. Although the crash just now was dangerous, fortunately it was not life-threatening, and there were only some minor injuries. At this moment, Sarron was questioning Mebius in a cold tone. P.S. Thank you at 18316. Reader for your monthly ticket. Thank you. Please ask for another billion points. August 8th, completed today. Everyone, go to bed early. Chapter 43 The Frightened Ehara Ryu. Ace, I finally discovered your boy's weakness. Did I kill the Redvolite? What does this mean to you, Mebius? Can I wash away the humiliation of your defeat? Can I make your tears of fear flow back? The moment you lower your head, you, Mebius, lose the chance to defend the Earth. Sarron scolded him, his tone extremely cold. If it weren't for the fact that the Red Flyts have a despicable personality and like to torture their opponents, if he hadn't arrived in time, can Mebius be safe now? Brother Sarron. Mebius lowered his head after being scolded, as if he was being scolded by his brother. Keep your head up. There was a loud scolding, causing Mebius to quickly raise his head in shock. Being downcast is a sign of cowardice. Yes. No matter what the reason is, next time you see the Red Flyts, use your fists to prove yourself. Yes, Brother Sarron. A hillside in the distance, the guy's members who were supporting each other were staring in front of them with their mouths open. Two giants of light are having a conversation. Mebius, who has always been responsible for protecting the Earth, is not as energetic as before. He is like a doormat and only dares to nod in response. Another extremely ferocious figure was pointing, even taller than Taylor who came to Earth some time ago. This ultra warrior is so cool. What's your name? Kazama Jinna asked curiously, her eyes full of twinkling stars. Asked, Ikaruga George, Amaya Mizumi, and Ehara Ryu all looked at Q's Tepe. The other party likes to study cosmic linguistics, has in-depth research on monsters that appeared in the past, and is familiar with all recorded materials of Ultraman's appearance, but at this moment, he hesitated. Wait. He hurriedly rummaged through the micro-recorder, constantly looking for relevant information. At this time, the pale Ehara Ryu slowly said, no need to look for it. I have already sent an intelligence-gathering request to the captain. As a result, there is no record of his presence on Earth. This is an ultra-warrior I've never seen before. Saying that, Ehara Ryu murmured in a low voice, leave quickly. The Earth does not welcome you. But these words were immediately heard by Kazama Shina, who has super hearing. Dragon. Don't whisper in private. Have you forgotten that mountain peak? Kazama Mariana smiled half-heartedly, glancing at the mountain peak cut off by the 8-point light wheel. TCH, I got it. Ehara Ryu blushed with anger. He really thought about the original Ultra Warriors and the aliens who would attack if they disagreed. Thinking that everyone is the gentle type like Mebius, at this moment, Mujime added another blow. Wow, that Ultra Warrior should be planning to stay on Earth. Ehara Ryu's face suddenly turned pale and he looked around. I saw the figures of two giants of light slowly turning into particles and dispersing. He has no plans to leave the Earth. Immediately, Ryu Ehara was the only injured person left in this world. A secluded meadow. Leo and Ace quietly watched all the changes. The two were silent for a while. Ace felt uneasy and nervous. It was a foregone conclusion that he couldn't control Sarron, and now he was afraid that Leo would suddenly change his mind after observing him. Leo, how? This kid Sarron is quite different. Ace spoke slowly and tentatively. Leo remained silent, his eyes closed and his fists clenched. This time, Ace panicked even more. Fighting King Leo, open your eyes, He was halfway through his words. Leo opened his eyes, revealing a solemn aura. Don't worry, brother Ace. From the brief battle just now, it can be seen that Sarron is much stronger than Mebius. But there are still big shortcomings. For example, he has a lot of strength, but he can't use boxing techniques. So it looks like he has infinite power, but in fact it is a very unreasonable fighting behavior. Leo talked calmly, and found the problem at a glance. Ace was startled and felt that it made sense. After a careful recollection, he also found that Sarron in the past battles, generally, he used the light skills of Ultra Guillotine as the main skill, showing an unparalleled light talent, but when he entered the close combat. But he didn't perform so exquisitely, it was all ordinary, open and close fist and foot attacks. He never used any close combat skills. That's true, so how to teach Sarron well is up to you, Ace continued, patting Leo on the shoulder. Well, brother Ace, please rest assured. I will definitely complete the task. Leo spoke seriously, like a lion in a quiet state. Ace nodded with relief, feeling that this time he must have a sure win. After all, he finally found a fatal flaw of Sarron. And it just so happens that his dear brother, Leo, is extremely good at this thing. This is simply a godsend. Suddenly, accompanied by the conversation, a burst of footsteps came closer. Brother Sarron, it's in this direction. I can still feel the breath of Ultra Warriors. Well, did the other party specify his identity? I noticed this. Anyway, there should be no hostility. Okay, let's go and take a look. Hearing the conversation. It's Sarron. It's Mebius. Leo and Ace were instantly alert. You came just in time. These two guys need some good training. Otherwise, how can we protect the Earth?